I want to go over a quick case study on a hospital looking to purchase medical simulation technology as part of a sim lab build out. This project was introduced to us by a longtime vendor partner, a manufacturer of simulation technology, Laerdal Medical. And they identified that this particular hospital, which is part of a regional group, did not have a very robust capital budget for their education department. In fact, they had virtually no education budget. Hospitals in general do have fairly limited education budgets compared to their clinical and facilities budgets, usually dwarf them because that's not part of their main business model, and it usually is not a source of revenue. This particular project was about $250,000 of simulation mannequins, software, and services provided by Laerdal. And after speaking with the customer, we identified that we could provide some terms that could potentially go through an operating budget. I also pulled a credit report which revealed that this particular hospital financed and leased a lot of technology, everything from computers through Dell to CT scanners, x-ray machines, hospital beds, things like that, through companies like GE, Siemens, and Stryker. So they clearly were set up to provide or to enter into these types of agreements. We landed on a term 60-month lease. So this 5-year lease matched up with the 5-year maintenance package, licensing, and everything that would be provided by Laerdal. They also felt that that was an optimal period of time to at least have the option to refresh the technology, as this technology is improving at such a rapid rate. So we did end up going through legal. It took a little bit of time to get the contract to read the way they wanted it to. Once we revised the language, they entered into the agreement, and we funded a $250,000 simulation project and got the customer approved for an additional $500,000 for additional build out of their simulation program for other facilities in the future. And that can continue to grow as we work with this customer. The financial impact to the customer is, of course, improved cash flow because they're paying monthly instead of paying $250,000 up front. It allowed them to shift away from their capital budget. In fact, the education budget that they did have was not touched. So the education department now had money for long-term sustainability for various things throughout the year that they would not have had if they had blown out their budget for the next several years on this one-time purchase. I want to summarize by going over the 2 key points here in this case study. Hospitals, generally smaller regional or rural hospitals in particular, have limited to no education budgets. And just in general, their capital budgets are usually limited as opposed to having more robust operating budgets, because if you think about a hospital, their overhead is enormous. So shifting from a capital budget to an operating budget is key. The second key point I want to summarize is that most hospitals finance most of their technology, both their core infrastructure and their medical technology, to hedge against obsolescence. They have the ability to continue to refresh and update those technologies, especially in this case, simulation technology. It's evolving at such a rapid rate that it gives that customer that flexibility while still taking advantage of improved cash flow. I hope this case study was helpful, especially if you are a hospital trying to identify how you can find budget for a project, or of course, if you're a vendor that's looking to better understand how you can help your hospital customer.